Hey, this is Luke with another Android Guys podcast. I'm here with Scott.
Hi, Luke. How are you today?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm doing amazing.
Amazing.
I have to think of adjectives when you hit me with that question.
Yeah, no.
You don't want to do splendid, fine, fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm doing whatever. Nothing matters.
Just whatever. Throw it against the wall. See what sticks. You have an app to review today.
Yeah, it's a game called 1 in a Trillion.
1 in a Trillion.
It's not the kind of game I would normally install.
Okay.
I'm not even sure how I ended up with this one.
Interesting.
I don't remember if it was recommended to me through an ad or I don't think it was the Play Store. Somehow I saw it. There's about 100,000 installs on it, so it's a relatively low number of installations.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the kind of game where you open it up and you just spend your time tapping your screen.
Oh,
It's you can tap up to 4 fingers on the screen at one time.
Okay.
And the object basically is you want to collect eggs, and they have rarity to them. And there are eggs to basically collect, and I see you have it on your phone. How did you end up with it?
I'm just looking at it in the Play Store to see what it looks like.
Okay. I was like, oh my gosh, you have it too.
No.
How did it happen? It's on everybody's phone now. Yeah, that's the game.
It's brought to you by U2.
Yeah, right. This is HamLab is the developer, and it's you basically are tapping the screen every time you do it. Each finger tap. So if you do 4 fingers at a time, you're just tap, tap, tap. It counts your taps, and then an egg will pop up on the screen somewhere, and you have to just tap and collect it before it goes away.
Okay.
And then there are some other elements that pop up on the screen that would be like, I'm trying to think of what they were called. There's some gems, and then there are some like eggs that are, I guess you would call them like dirt covered, kind of thing. So when you collect your guy, like say your first couple hundred taps, you'll get an egg that'll pop up, and it'll say, "Hey, you just collected Zoe," or whatever the name is. They're really random names.
Okay.
And each one has its own character, but they don't have any type of like special abilities or anything. They're just cards or eggs. And you see how rare it is. So if you collect one that is 1 in 500 and you haven't really tapped it 500 times, your odds are pretty good.
Sure.
You did fairly well there. Now, if you tap in on something 1,000, you tap the screen 1,000, 2,000, and then you get one that's, worth 250. You're getting common. These are kind of common.
Sure.
So I don't know how long I'm going to continue to play this game. It's not my style. It's kind of cute. I'm in the tens of thousands of taps, believe it or not.
So it has a running tally of your taps as you play through like your lifetime taps.
Yes.
Interesting.
And as you do that, you'll get different gems, and then there's like this thing that looks like an egg that'll pop up. They're called scrambled eggs.
Okay.
And you have basically the ability to kind of increase your odds. Actually, let me back up here. Because let's say, for instance, you collect these common eggs, and you keep catching this same one every 250 or so.
Yeah, 1,000 bobs.
So you can actually sell bobs.
Oh.
You can, for me, I'll keep one. And then I'll sell all the others, is what I've done so far.
It's kind of like Pokemon.
Exactly. It's like I have a living Pokédex.
Yes.
So I'll keep all of them in my portfolio.
Yeah.
Sell them, get some money. So now you've got basically some currency. And then you've also got gems, and then you can combine these different things to do different things.
Okay.
So, for instance, you can do what's called like a scrambled egg, and it uses, for instance, I'm looking at it now, 2,000 taps. I'll turn over 2 gems, and I'll spend $4,500 of the cash,
Yeah.
and it will give me the equivalent of 2,000 taps.
Oh.
So you'll see basically it'll start at 2,000, it'll back down all the way to 0.
Yeah.
And as it does that, eggs will pop up on your screen.
Uh-huh.
You just got to collect them.
Okay.
So it's like you're paying for 2,000 taps.
Yeah.
And the further you go in the game, the more money you spend, you can
Mhm.
basically say, I'm going to pay for 10,000 taps. I'm going to
Ah.
pay for 150,000. All the way up to essentially the game is 1 in a trillion. So
Oh, wow.
you can get into, hundreds of thousands of taps at a time, or, I'm assuming have it look like, what is it for 1 million?
Sure.
So if you look at your, so those are like scrambled eggs. And then there's also a thing called Tap Blast, which is for the same thing. You use a different gem and some money. And then what it does is it's a mini game that kind of pops up and says, hey, here are eggs that pop up for you.
Mm-hmm.
Collect them before they go away. So there's some mini games that you can use your in-game currency.
Okay.
All to the effect of collecting.
Right.
Or all for the purpose of collecting these eggs.
Right.
When you have these, like you pick up these, like, I guess you would call them dirty eggs. They're like
Mhm.
mud covered. You can see that you have them, and you can see how many more taps until you clean them off.
Okay.
And reveal which one it is that you actually had.
Ah.
So my next one says I'm 13,000 taps away until he's clean.
Ah.
And then I can go in there and say I want to use, they call it luck sauce, which is basically money, again, that kind of says, okay, we're going to increase the odds that it's a higher, more collectible guy. So I could see this being very fun for the right person.
Sure.
For me, I'm just so on it. It's a cute game. There are, I want to say, like 700 and some eggs that you can collect.
Okay.
So it's got some replay value if that's your jam.
Yeah, if you're an avid, collector, if you like collection games where you're trying to get all of the things,
Right.
then yeah, this sounds pretty cool. So how you said you're at like 10,000-ish
I'm
taps?
23,000 taps.
23,000 taps. What's the rarest egg that you have so far then?
So the rarest one I have, let me go into my eggs here. If I wanted to look at, okay. I have one of Hambo. He's 1 in 50,000.
Okay.
So he's better than, my odds are. I didn't have to obviously I didn't have to tap it to collect that.
Right.
So
yeah.
and I've picked up a few that were 1 in 10,000, 1 in 25,000.
Okay. So
and I've sold them to get the money to go back in and basically figure out, hey, this is how I'm going to play the games. I'm just going to, I have no affinity or affection towards these eggs. I'm just going to turn them into money and see if I can increase my odds and try to collect them. So if you're trying to fill it out, if you have one of those obsessive compulsive kind of like,
sure.
I need to do this, this is a kind of fun game to do that.
Interesting. It'd be fun if you could marry the idea of this game with like an NFT. If your eggs were NFTs.
Yeah. Yeah. If there were some true like unlock this and it becomes so
a very interesting game for the right person. I don't know. So you're tapping on the screen, but then you're also interacting with the things that come up on the screen. So it's not like you can just tap while you're doing something else. You're also having to pay attention.
Yeah. So you can't just sit there and watch TV and just keep tapping in the same spot. At the same time, you can kind of piano flick your 4 fingers and watch mindlessly and then hopefully collect things.
Sure.
But other than that, it's, you have to look and say, oh, I got to pick up these. Actually, it's 175 eggs to collect.
Oh, okay.
Not 700. I don't know where I got that. Maybe I transpose the numbers. And then, once in a while, you'll see a thing pop up that's like this countdown to like find these the muddy eggs to clean.
Uh-huh.
So as you tap on the screen, you can see your taps registering, and the darker they become, the closer you are to finding it.
It's like
so
a
you
sonar
have like,
kind of thing.
Yeah, you have like 10
honing
seconds
in
to
on
find
them.
this before it goes away.
Okay.
So there is some kind of like fun
some
element
game
to that.
it. Yeah.
I think this is the kind of game that for me, I might just put away and come back to every so often, but I could see somebody checking every day, or if you have like siblings, two kids that are like competing to do, because there are some things in there that you can do to kind of like see, there's like challenges that you can do.
Oh, nice.
There is a feature where you can go in, use your stuff to kind of, use your gems and money to kind of hold, pay to hold more gems, pay to hold more storage.
I gotcha.
Different things that you can do to kind of really make the game a little bit more the way you want to play it.
Is there any place to like buy eggs?
There is. In the shop, you can do like these special eggs, and they're like, the
hard to find ones or something.
Yeah. So these eggs are $2. You can get 16 of these types of eggs that I don't know what, I haven't put any money into them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's a cool game. It's free. I haven't seen any advertisements pop up on it yet.
Oh, that's cool.
And on the screen, you also see that like you have this score that says, here's your luck meter. And it's based off of like your level, where you are in the game. And then if you play it day after day, it kind of compounds so that the way that you start to collect things gets better. It rewards you for coming back to it. So there's that element as well.
Yeah. Well, it seems like they're giving you a good amount of things without asking too much.
Yeah. I'm not mad at the game.
Yeah.
It's not my style of game, but I'm, I can see people really kind of like, if my wife and I both discovered this at the same time, like, hey, look who I got today.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Sure.
I don't, if I could trade them to people to fill out a, whatever, but it's a cool little game, but I scored it. Let me see if I've got my numbers here. I came out to 3.8.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Right along the lines of, 3.5 the whole way. And then for ads and notifications, I gave it a 5 because I've yet to see one.
Yeah, that's awesome. Especially for a free to play game.
Yeah. So, and that's called 1 in a Trillion by HamLab.
Awesome. Thanks, Scott.
Yeah, thank you. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of the podcast.
Thanks for listening.
We appreciate it. If you guys have any questions, feedback, concerns, comments, anything, shoot us an email at podcast@AndroidGuys.com. We'd love to hear from you one way or the other. Luke, if someone wants to get a hold of you, how do they do that?
I am on Instagram and Twitter at Luke Gaul, Gaul.
And I'm on Instagram at Scott Webster and Twitter as SWebster77. Until next time, thanks for listening.
See ya.